Hello everyone and welcome to Second Life's Travels once again. We are at our 11th spot on our Second Life Oldest Regions tour. Today we are at Clyde, which half of which represents Clementina Estates, which is basically a bunch of private homes. Which, interesting enough, until up to this point, we haven't had to run into any sort of setup of a private apartment sort of thing that you obviously see quite a bit around on mainland and certain private islands, but I guess it was overdue that we'd find something like this. Since there's a bunch of rented buildings, I won't be going inside of them, so we'll just be taking a look around them a bit, and then we'll be heading to the other half of the region, which has a bit more stuff for us to look at. In any case, though, if you wanted to have a place on one of the oldest regions in Second Life, this would probably be your spot, I assume, if there's any spots open in any case. Last time I came here, I actually got a message from their office, which is fairly common with these sort of rental places. And has a nice little setup here. It's sort of tropical, beach-like in its appearance, I guess would be the best way to put it. It looks like there's a bridge of some sort up here that's been torn apart, perhaps, or it doesn't have its attachments anymore. I'm not sure exactly how to... If it was always like that, or if they actually broke off a main road for that or something, I don't know. We got a security orb. I do remember seeing some of those when I have flew over this region before. So, in any case, my avatar today is one of my older anime ones that I had from probably 6 or 7 years back. Ishtar from the fairly popular at the time Yu-Gi-Oh! Franchise. So, there's that, and there's no fly on this area, so I have to go through the water here. It's fairly nice, and it looks like one of the houses has a blue tint to their windows, which is very noticeable compared to everything else here. Yeah, it looks like I did see a couple spots here for reserves for, I guess, boats. So if you got a place there, I guess you'd be able to res your own boat or use one of the place's spots. And once again, we ran into a security orb, so we got to run away. That's a bit annoying with the security orbs. Here on the ground, it makes more sense to use band lights than security orbs. I understand using security orbs up in the air, which is probably the reason why we haven't run into too many of them. And more so band lights than anything else. Floating tube. So apparently Clyde originally was the way to the Outlands, which is the 4 regions, of 2 of which we've been to so far. Quite a bit back. But after Clyde we'll be going into the other 2 regions of the Outlands, and I believe that was more of a PvP spot back in the day for Second Life users to use weapons and whatnot. Apparently Clyde had a wall that was separating off the Outlands from the rest of the regions at the time, but from what I've seen, I have not seen a wall here, so I can only assume it's been torn down. And there's some information in any case. 45 linen a week, and that's not too bad for something pre-built. You can see inside of this one a little bit from the window. Looks like a nice little nautical theme inside. Little sailboat there. That's probably I don't know if that comes from the resers or not, actually, because I don't see a resing box there. Here's the one with the blue tents. It looks like it has a bit of... It's either a fountain or like there's fire spewing up in the air. I'm not quite sure which, to be honest. I think we'll go ahead and turn away from the little area here and head to the other half of the region. It looks like I ran into something there, I'm not sure what. This actually might be part of the wall that I was talking about here. I'm guessing perhaps it was broken at some point, because that's what I would assume from looking at this. And there's a little house here that looks fairly neat. And it's band-lined, so obviously I know that they don't want us going into the house, so I'm just going to take a look at what I can see from the outside here. See what looks like an arcade machine and a bath of sorts. Fire with a chair next to it for relaxing next to, I imagine. And see bubbles and whatnot coming off it. That's pretty nice. Might need to text refresh this off. Let's see. The city. It does appear to be an arcade machine. Nice little spot here. I'm not sure if that's some sort of weird issue with that corner wall there that can see through, or what, because I'm not quite sure. I can see a balcony of some sort over there as well, so let's go ahead and just peek at that real quick. Fairly nice little cottage setup here. You always see some people doing some really nice designs and layouts for things, and this is no exception. Looks like there's a monument of some sort over here. Let's take a look at it. As it stands, Clyde does not seem to be very populated on this half. I'm not sure with the rental spots down there in any case. Thou shalt allow build and run scripts on thy land and use auto-return to help it keep it tidy, for it is thy friend. Good neighbor commandments for Second Life mainland. Honestly, people usually just keep their build off, and I don't really blame them. This appears to be some sort of, not quite sure what it is, but it looks to be some sort of statue. Perhaps it's some form of ruin. Okay, so we can already start seeing some of the stuff from the 12th region over that way. I guess this could probably be called the landmark for Clyde here, because this particularly does stand out. I hear some sort of noise, I think, coming from below me. Yeah, that, whatever that is over in front of me is actually on Hawthorne, which is the 12th region we'll be going to eventually. This is probably a monument to the wall or something along those lines, I imagine. This looks like one of the Yep, it is. So they got a pretty good, good amount of this region then. The estates over there. Danger, live fire. Which this was probably a reference to the Outlands, as I was talking about, where they would be able to use weapons back in the day. It appears that there's only really 2 spots to look at this point. Doesn't seem like our time in Clyde is going to be very long. I guess we'll be heading into this dense forest area and see what we'll find. Ooh, this looks nice. They did a pretty good job with this, being able to dense it out enough to where I couldn't even see inside this area. Some old furniture out in the woods. Moss and flowers growing across it. Looks rather pretty when it's outside like this. We got a campfire with some logs and blankets around it as well. I can hear a fire, so I assume maybe it's doing the sound for it, but it's not on at the moment. See a view of the houses over there again. Nice little pond here with a rabbit right next to it. Very good job with the landscaping, I have to say. Let's see what this sign says. Government spy satellites scan this area. Please keep the tinfoil hats on. Well, I see something on top of the shack in any case. Doesn't appear there's any door here. It's a fairly rustic design. I guess we can peek inside. There's no door closed in our face or anything like that. No band lines or orbs. I have to say this is a fairly cozy little spot here. If I was any good at all with being able to put something together, this might be something along the lines I would think about making. Just like maybe a swampy area or forest with a small place in the middle of it. But just trying to text refresh some stuff to see if it'll detail out a little quicker. Periodic tables in different language, I guess. Let's go ahead and try and get these viewable. They appear to be maps of something. I believe that has a reference to Second Life, so that might be a Second Life map of some sort. I saw Blake C on there. See if I can get this map to appear correctly. Ah, there it goes. Doll staring at me from underneath the table there. Okay, so it's fairly nice looking in here. I guess we'll go ahead and take a look at the other building around here, which may be another Clementina Estate thing. Looks similar in design, but this is a really big one if it is. And we'll just peek in the windows and take a look at the rooms. Really nice little modern house design here. And honestly, I think that's about it for Clyde here. It was not a very big adventure at all, but sometimes these places don't have a whole lot to give us. For the most part, Clyde is just a big spot for private homes and apartment sort of situation. In fact, I think the only thing that's not that is this monument over here. But in any case, in our next video for this, we'll be going into the 12th region, which is the one right in front of us. And that one should probably have a bit more for us to look at. And then we'll be heading, and with the 13th one, we'll be heading straight back to beside Daboom again. So, going to be doing a bit of back and forth eventually. But in any case, I will see you guys next time. And see you then.